Hi, and welcome to the next tutorial. What we're going to do in this tutorial is we're going to take our 4-tile set and prep it for Stencyl, and then show you how to actually install it and use it inside Stencyl. Okay, so pretty much right now this is a Photoshop document, .psd, and we need to change it to another format. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to come up here to the File menu. I'm going to choose Save As, and I'm going to save it to my desktop. And the most important thing is some of you might have your window, your Save As window, look like this, and it's fine, but it's much better to click on this little downward triangle right here, so that way you can actually see more things. So I'm going to put it on my desktop so I can find it right away. And the most important step here, other than changing the name, is to change the format. So I'm going to change the format from Photoshop down to PNG. So a PNG file is incredibly important, and the #1 reason why we use PNG files for video games is PNG files allow transparency. So that wave and that grass that I have in the background there will actually be transparent. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and hit save and then click on OK. Alright, so now I'm pretty much set. I'm going to go check it out on the desktop. Just so you can see what it looks like. Okay, so here it is. It's really tiny, but I open it up and there it is. Right there. So there it is in all its glory. Okay, so let's go to Stencyl. So here's my beginner level here. It needs a lot of work, but I'll do that once I get my tile set in there. So after I've opened up my game, I'm going to go to my dashboard. I'm going to come down here to Tile Sets. Right now it says I have the grassland tile set. I want to obviously click here to create a new one. It's going to ask for a name. Now normally you would go ahead and you would give it an appropriate name like cave tile set or underwater tile set, things like that. This is sort of a general generic tile set, so I'm going to go ahead and call this one Tile Set 1. Click on Create. Now, you need to check your, this is the hardest part here, you need to check your settings here. The first thing you want to do is check this little pop-up menu that says Scale. You want to make sure it says 1x, meaning that when your image comes in, it'll come in at normal size. It's not going to be scaled up to 1.5 or 2.5 or 2 times or 4 times its normal size. So we want that set to 1. Everything else here you should leave alone. Okay, so we're going to come up here in the top left corner and click on Choose Image, and now it's going to ask me to go find it. So I'm going to go to my desktop, find the PNG version of the image. You can see over here, you see a preview of course, but you can see the dimensions. It does say 64 pixels by 64 pixels, so everything is checking out. I hit open, it comes in. You can see that I've got the 2 rocks there. You can see the transparency in the water and the grass, so that's really important. And then I'm going to click on Add. So now you'll see there's directions over here. It says select a tile to edit it. So I'm going to go ahead and click on a tile, and when you click on a tile you now get this really cool section up here for collisions. So now you have to decide what kind of a collision boundary do you want that tile to have. Now I want my little Mambo character to actually be able to fall into the water, so I want no collision for that, so I'm going to click on no collision. For the dark rock, I'm actually going to show you in a third bonus video a little trick for that. So this one I'm going to also say I'm going to say no collision for that one as well, and you'll understand why in the next video. This is actually going to be a background decorative piece. Okay, so this light rock here, I'm going to make that a square, and you can see that Stencyl already automatically chooses a square. That's the default choice. And last but not least, for the flower, traditionally you don't want your character to have to slam into flowers and things like that, so this one is also going to be a no collision. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and hit save. I'm going to go back to my level 1, and now the really cool thing is if you look over here in the tile sets over here, you'll see 2 entries. So I can click on this tile set and look at this. It's not nearly as impressive because it only has 4 blocks, but it's there. So I can come over here and now start painting my waves. They're not animated, but I'm not too worried about that right now. I can go ahead and put in some flowers just so you can see it actually does work. There we go. So that's looking pretty good. Put in some rocks that he can deal with, something like that. And that's pretty much it. That's how you add in your tile sets. Very easy. In the next video, what I'll do is I'll show you a trick with a feature called layers. So you already know layers in Photoshop, and you know you can stack layers and you can put things behind other things. Well, Stencyl also has layers. It lets you do some pretty cool stuff. So in the third video, I'll give you a little bonus material, and you can go ahead and go above and beyond and do what I do in the third video. I'll see you then.